So, first and foremost, I have to say that this constructor is one of the coolest constructors that Epic has ever brought out. It is an incredible concept to the Plasma Pulse ability, and the damage is awesome, though it could use a little bit of work, and you'll see why in a bit. The only downside to this ability is the fact that you gotta get up close and personal, and that is basically a contradiction to what a constructor is supposed to do. Constructors help and heal the objective, defend from the oncoming disaster with walls and floors and traps, so you may want to learn how to actually fight with this constructor instead of staying on the base and setting up traps. But aside from that, let's get started with the hero loadout first. So this is the first loadout that I tried, and the reason I say first loadout is because I made two, but this one is solely focused on the Plasma Pulse ability. Starting off with our commander, we got the brand new hero Flutter with her commander perk Wisp Light. Plasma Pulse elimination summons a wisp up to 8 that orbit you for 20 seconds, dealing 112 base damage on contact. And this is an awesome concept to keep your constructor safe and do incredible damage, because as you can see here, each wisp does around 18,235 points of damage, and that is just for each wisp. Stacking them up to 8, that is 145,880 points of damage when they do a full circle. But going on to our team perk, we have Happy Holidays to lower the cooldown. Normally Plasma Pulse takes 45 seconds to reload, but with Happy Holidays and 1 hot minute, it takes 22 seconds, which is a huge drop in cooldown time. Moving on to our support heroes, we're going to first start off with Miss Bunny Penny. She has the perk Plasma Overdrive, which decreases Plasma Pulse energy cost by 38%. We also got Plasma Specialist Iza with her perk Power Pulse, increases Plasma Pulse damage by 30%. Riot Response Hazard has 1 hot minute. That decreases Plasma Pulse cooldown by 18%, which is very necessary. We also got Riot Control Iza with her perk Plasma Pulse Blast. When Plasma Pulse is placed, it deals 43 base energy damage to enemies in a 1-tile radius. Also, you were able to get her in the Lunar Llamas along with Riot Response Hazard for the last season. And last on our list, we got Vintage Tech Penny. She comes with the perk Malfunction, which increases radius of Plasma Pulse mines by 40%. And trust me, that's going to be incredibly useful if you want to get as many eliminations as possible to be able to summon those wisps. But that's enough of that. Let's see this loadout in action. Starting off in a level 140 mission, here we have a nice little encampment with plenty of test subjects to try out our new equipment. And I'm alone on this mission, by the way, so I have no teammates buffing my power or doing any other damage. This is strictly me. I go ahead and drop a slow field, then drop the Plasma Pulse, and as you can see, that is doing incredible damage. The Plasma Pulse itself basically wiped out the entire encampment, but as you can see here, I got my wisps surrounding me, and they do awesome damage as well. They're actually critting too. I didn't even think my Plasma Pulse or the wisps could actually crit, and that is so cool. But as you can see, they did even more damage, and with the cooldown, I'm able to drop it again as soon as all those wisps are gone. All 8 of them usually last, well, as the team perk said, 20 seconds. So that means as soon as the wisps are gone, I get my Plasma Pulse back. But herein lies the downside of Flutter's ability. This is strictly crowd clearing. It's not supposed to be used for the big guys like mist monsters or smashers or god forbid mini bosses. Even with the blaster here, with only 3 wisps, I'm ticking down his health, but I need to be extremely close to be able to do any sort of damage, and even by then, I am taking a lot of damage myself. So that leaves me completely open and vulnerable. That means I need to either remove a sort of damaging perk from my support settings to be able to heal me, or I need to be able to put down either healing traps, campfires, or anything else that will be able to save me from situations like that. Case in point, over here I did find a smasher, but only with a few husky husks and a shield husk available. Remember, I need to eliminate these fools to be able to get even one wisp, and with these kinds of enemies, that is going to be extremely difficult. I did not get a single wisp from using my plasma pulse, and now I am completely helpless whenever dealing with these mist monsters. Now I need to go ahead and get a plasmatic discharger to be able to handle this smasher, but I'm gonna go ahead and just drop another plasma pulse, and as you can see, the plasma pulse itself is doing all the damage. I was able to at least get one of those husks, but that only gave me one wisp, and as you can see, I was just barely able to get it. I needed 2 plasma pulses to be able to even do any sort of damage to that smasher. But that's the end of the first loadout. Moving on to the second one, it's basically the same, but I replaced Plasma Specialist Isa with Warden Kyle to add Base MD, which heals my allies whenever they are standing on my base. And I replaced Riot Control Isa with Mega Base Kyle, who has, well, Mega Base. Increases my base connectivity range by 1 tile. This lets me increase the range of my base on my building to be able to keep the objective safe from oncoming attacks. But I still want to be able to use my Plasma Pulse ability to do considerate damage, so Bunny Penny, Hazard, and Vintage Tech Penny get to stay. So here I am in a 160 Repair the Shelter, and here I actually do have some allies to play with. By the way, if anybody does want to join me in Save the World while making these videos, or even if you want to get some help with ventures or your home base, please let me know. We can play when I have some free time. Usually throughout the week I am super busy with my primary job, and I make these videos mostly as a hobby, but also to help with increasing the popularity of this game mode. But enough about that, just gonna build around the objective since Flutter's ability is mostly to take care of crowd control, not really defending the base. That's what the traps are for. Before the mission starts, I'm going to go ahead and place these defenders on the base. As I've mentioned before in my other videos, whenever you are doing a 160 mission, sometimes 4 players are not enough. So having some sniper defenders on your side is going to help you so much in the long run. So this was probably a bad mission to showcase this hero because here we're getting mostly mist monsters. I'm not saying the Plasma Pulse won't do some incredible damage, but the main point of Flutter is to show off the wisps and to show how much damage they can do to a crowd. But still, the Plasma Pulse is doing some great damage, even to that Smasher and these husks. But too bad we don't have any normal husks or husklings. If I did, I'd be able to get those swarms of wisps around me and be able to destroy anything. Actually, you know, this hero, if given the right kind of loadout to heal with her wisps, would be an incredible hero to take on encampments by yourself. But as you can see here, the Plasma Pulse is not doing any kind of damage to the mini-boss. Then again, that's not the point of this hero loadout. The wisps should be doing some insane damage to this mini-boss, and it would if I could get some wisps. But instead, it's like I'm just tickling it. But there you have it. In my honest opinion, this is still an incredible hero. Epic just needs to buff the damage that the wisps do, because almost 19,000 damage per wisp won't cut it for the big guys. And that's where you're gonna find some issues. I mean, you saw at the beginning of this video that Flutter could clear out an encampment all on her own with just 1 Plasma Pulse, and any surviving husks would just die to her wisps. But these are my loadouts. If you have any other combos you want to see, or if you have a better loadout in mind for this new hero, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas and try them out. And if they're as good as you say they are, I'll make another video and give you a shout out for it. But other than that, if you guys like my content, why not leave a like? And if you guys want to get more updates regarding the game, why not drop a follow? Until then, as always, stay safe and game on!